Hey, Alex, welcome everybody to episode 107, please.
Hey, Mike.
Welcome to episode 107 podcast.
That was great.
That was really good.
Very good Bryce impersonation.
I was trying to do it as,
Everybody, welcome.
You're there.
Yeah, please.
doing great. How you guys doing?
It's been a while.
It has been a little
Very
bit.
fit. Got your little muscle shirt on.
Yeah, got a little hot this afternoon. I had my hoodie on earlier, but took it off.
I have a feeling we're going to get a lot in this episode.
I doubt
I
it.
think it's just a smaller shirt, actually.
When you say ladies, you mean like
It's amazing what AI will do for you
Yeah,
these days.
this medium's rocking.
An extra large. Thank you.
a lot of
So we took some customers out at the beginning of the week with our boy Alex. Did a little fishing in Louisiana.
I went to Hackberry, Louisiana.
Yeah,
Caught redfish and trout. It mopped up.
we did. I fried some fish up the other day. How does your body feel, Alex? What part of your body hurts the most?
It starts about here and goes to about.
To somewhere around here.
Yeah, I can tell I'm getting older.
Yeah, Alex had a little too much brown liquor on first night.
There were a few spirits consumed. Yes.
You know, credit is due for you, man. You definitely recover and slayed the fish the next day. If that were me in your kind of shape on Monday night or Sunday night, whatever it was, I would have never been up the next day.
You know, the best story is Bryce and his run-in with the law enforcement in Louisiana.
Ooh, you're bringing that up, huh?
I
Yeah.
agree, and I do remember that. So
Yeah, you remember it.
that's a plus.
Yeah, I'm sure that sobered you up real quick.
It
You know,
did. I was getting ready.
We are good to go. We walked out on phase. I'm here.
Yeah.
I still have my truck. No tickets.
Yeah, a little excessive speed,
You know, when you have a fast truck, it's hard to drive slow.
a little reckless driving.
It was still probably one of the most impressive sales jobs that I've witnessed to date, because he was busted. I mean, he was busted.
Toasted.
Talked his
Toasted.
way right into a written warning.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to get into the details of the whole thing, but since you brought it up.
I'm here. That's all that matters. I'm here. I had no tickets issued.
Yeah.
We're good, man. I learned a lesson. And
But it was a good trip. I'll throw some pictures up of some of the fish. I don't know that I got a picture of you with a big redfish. Alex?
yeah, I know you got some pictures.
Yeah,
I've got one from last year. Not this year, though, I don't think.
I messed up and did not take a picture of I caught a really nice trout, and the biggest one I've caught of my life for sure, and
Yeah.
didn't take a picture. So, yeah,
Yeah.
bug lights and brown water.
Brown water.
I've caught
Oh, baby.
quite a few redfish, but I've never caught one that big.
Yeah.
It was like 36 inches.
And the best part was we were ready to go. We were like, all right, one more cast and
Yeah,
we're
we
out
were
of
going to
here.
try one more spot and just give it one more, and we were about ready to head out on the last day. And we went to that last spot, and it was literally the last cast. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it was the last cast. And man, it hooked on, and it took me probably 10 minutes to get him in the boat.
Took you for a little
It's
bit
like-
of a ride for like 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah, it was an amazing fish. That'll definitely get a redfish.
It's like birdie number 18.
Exactly. Yep.
Keeps you coming back for more.
Mhm.
So, Alexis, you got some hose in front of you.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I just don't know,
this podcast, we shipped out a really interesting one that I was going to talk about as kind
I think
of
typically, like,
but we had to ship it out today, so we're going to throw some pictures up of that one. But we got in front of me now.
I've experienced this before.
They'll use these for putting in between compressors and hard piping, whether it be a natural gas compressor or a steam or a generator or something like that. But the whole point of it is to put it between the hard piping and the piece of equipment that's got vibration on it. Excuse me. So that it absorbs the vibration. So it's a stable vibration. So you can imagine it being hooked up to a compressor on one side or something like that, and then hard piping on the other. It's absorbing that vibration, and at the same time, it's absorbing a little pipe movement too. But a lot of people call us and refer to these as expansion joints, and they'll ask for an expansion joint. And through sort of the years of experience,
you want to do that. I mean, that's probably best if you want to
kind of understand that they're not necessarily needing an expansion joint, because an expansion joint has limit rods and is made to absorb certain movements of pipe.
Yeah, have them call me and then I can give away some.
It's not made to just be a vibration damper per se. So we make these a lot. We probably make, I would say, 20 of these a week or so. And a lot of them will have like these little thin plate flanges on them like this, because it's not really high pressure going through it. They're just trying to get liquid or gas from point A to point B and absorb some of that vibration along in the process. So do a lot of these, do a lot of them without the braid on them too, and we call those unrestricted expansion joints or bellows. It could have any type of flange known to man on it. This one just has to have a plate flange with a flat face, but it's got the RMS finish. So it's more.
What size is that, Alex?
This is an 8-inch diameter, and I believe it's 9 3/4 long.
God, what size do you stock?
We stock all the way up to actually 16-inch diameter.
God damn.
When we get above 12 to 14 and 16, we don't have a lot of 14 and 16 just because it's not a hugely popular size, but we can do all the way up to 24-inch. And we have relatively good supply all the way up to 24-inch. But we stock large quantities up to 12-inch diameter. So quarter-inch, smaller than my little finger, all the way up to 12-inch diameter. We stock. We can get day. We're structured just like you guys, we get a call that we'll have it shipped that afternoon if you need it. If we've got hot shot stuff, we've got to go grab stuff, we'll jump in our trucks and go do it.
If you need us to make some custom fittings, we'll do that for you too, right?
That's right.
That's right.
That's what the beauty of this relationship is.
Yeah, we got some synergies.
There's a lot of synergies. We've had a lot of examples of those types of situations where there was a fitting we could not find on the market, but we had one, so we send it to you guys. You reverse engineer it and send it back to us, and then we make a hose assembly from it. And so
there you go.
That's pretty good. I don't know many hose companies that can do that. And have a partner like that. So
you have custom fittings, and their lead times are stupid and they're expensive. It's quicker and easier. You send us a sample, we machine it for you, send it over to you. You have it in a few days. You weld, thread, whatever you need to do onto the hose, and voila.
That's right.
That's right.
Of having to call an OEM to get a part,
it's rough.
Unless it's a part that is stocked by the thousands, which there's not very many of. They don't even know what you're talking about half the time. I mean, it may take 2 weeks to get an email back, so it's good to have that in your back pocket. For sure.
How long is that hose that you got rubber?
Oh, I don't know. It's a 36 inch.
About a 3-footer?
Yeah, just
come on.
Introduce yourself real quick.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Daryl,
What's up, Big D?
what's up, man?
Y'all doing all right today, huh?
Welcome to the podcast. It's about time you joined us.
Daryl probably welded that hose, right?
No,
He ain't welded this one. I supervised.
Oh.
I ain't welded this one.
no, it would have looked even prettier, Daryl. Yeah,
Oh, really? I don't doubt that for a second.
he's robbing it from me.
I got to get it out. Customer needed.
It's
Nice
okay.
seeing y'all.
Good to see you, man.
So this is just we do a lot of these types of assemblies where we have these skid packaging companies, right, that are skidding up compressors or generators and sending them offshore or for jobs, maybe onshore. And you guys do a lot of bolt. And so I had to go yesterday and measure a bunch of hoses on a skid package. And they don't really plan for where they want these hoses to go. They know that they've got a flange over here and it's got a threaded fitting over here that they need to get to, but there's a lot of stuff in between that they didn't really think of when they were setting piping. And so going and measuring for that stuff and getting the right path so that it, avoids everything else and still accomplishes the mission without adding a bunch of weird fittings and that kind of thing in the mix is always kind of a challenge that I like to do. So we went yesterday to a place here in town, actually, and we measured out some hoses for that. And they're going to be a lot more intricate than this one. There's going to be 45s and 90s and all kinds of stuff that have to go on it just to accommodate what they needed. But this is an example over on that same package that just got finished a little while ago. And it's got carbon steel ends, JIC fittings on it. But it's literally going into a spot that's bending, up and around some piping, and it's on two different planes and that sort of thing. And we got it done today they're going to be picking up the stuff that they need to work over the weekend on this package that they need to deliver by Tuesday next week. So
You're an animal. How long did that take to make? You just cut it and weld it, right?
Well, it's a little more involved.
Sure. A little more intricate.
A little more intricate, but yeah, I mean, it takes probably about 45 minutes to make it start to finish. And
That's a male thread on the other end, Alex?
No, that's a female. It's a female JIC, just like the other ones.
How do you thread that on if you got two females on each side? Okay, it swivels. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, we always have to think of that. I'm glad you said that. Because they had me measuring one that was going into a ball valve, a female threaded ball valve, and then it was coming out. It was going around some piping and up to a flange, to a flat face flange actually. And he asked for a male by flange, right? And so I said, well, I can give you a male by flange, but you're going to have to rotate the whole, if it's a rigid male pipe, you're going to have to rotate the whole hose when you're installing it.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't.
It'd be impossible, right, if you had non-swiveling ends on both ends.
Yeah, it'd be very difficult. So I set it up like this. I put a female JIC on it and put an adapter that way when they screw in the adapter, it's really easy to screw in and tighten down with a wrench. And then you can screw this on because it rotates real easy and they don't have to rotate the whole hose in the process. So we have to think of that kind of stuff a lot.
Yep.
You're a problem solver, Alex.
I can't wait till we get the pictures that we did thrown up because it was an interesting phenomenon, and I'll talk through it right quick. It was in a refinery, I think, and they had sent us a picture, and it was just an overhead picture, and it was a set of bellows, sort of like the one I just had. It was 6-inch diameter, and it was like 9 inches long. Just an unrestricted expansion joint, and then on the other end, it reduced from 6 inches down to a 4-inch, what they call a 4-bolt O-ring face flange, which is typically used on like Caterpillar equipment and that sort of stuff. So it's like a hydraulic fitting, but they were using metal because of the temperature that they were having to go through this process, and so they had a really short expansion joint. And then a concentric reducer going from 6 to 4-inch to a 4-bolt flange, and it was an ANSI flange on the 6-inch side. And so the whole run was only like 22 or 23 inches long, so it wasn't a huge space. Well, that expansion joint in the picture was just twisted up and mangled, man. And it was like, it looked terrible, and they were like kind of like acting surprised that it failed after like a year. And I was like, well, I'm surprised it lasted 2 weeks, to be honest with you, because when they installed it, the bolt holes on the flanges were not aligned at all. So they had to twist this expansion joint to install it and torque it torsionally so that they could get it to align with the bolt holes. And then it was also laterally misaligned. So you had one flange that was sitting lower than the other. And then they also not bolt hole aligned. So it was twisted and curving in this little short space, and it just looked terrible. And when you see the pictures, you'll see what I'm talking about. So, and they wanted an in-kind replacement for it. I'm like, hey, we can do that. It's not going to last anymore. Or we can go from that ANSI flange all the way through to your flange and deduct all of these fittings in between and get away from the 2-bolt, the bolt hole alignment issue, And that's what we ended up doing. So when you see the pictures, you'll see exactly it in plant failed, then you'll see what we came up for as a solution. And I guarantee you when they get it, they're going to take it and drop it right in and install it and be like, we'll never order this in this way again. This is perfect.
Yeah, like I said, it should be ready in the next.
It's just fun little stuff like that. You guys do it every day too. So we love getting into that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm good. Thank you.
You are the man, Alex.
I don't know about that, but we try really, really hard, and that's something, you know.
Impressive, man. It feels like we need to step up our bolting game after we see Alex talking about applications and customer interactions and stuff like that. I don't think we do that as much.
You know, it happens every once in a while, but not like that. Not to that detail.
Yeah, I like it. He's putting us to shame. We got a little competition now.
Hey, so here's a funny question. So the bolt holes, they don't line up, right? So they have to twist everything up and line the bolt holes up. Could they, I was just thinking about this when they said that, or when you said that, could they drill another hole into the flange just so it lines up properly? And
Yes.
wouldn't that solve the problem too?
Yeah, they call that field drilling. But if you've already got existing bolts,
Sure.
you know, you're going to have potential for a leak path because you don't have you don't have force on that bolt hole that's open anymore. But you could do it, but think about the time it would take to drill.
Yeah, right.
That many bolts, you know, and how difficult that would be. You know,
Yeah.
Very, very.
Put the other extra label on one.
Normally, when you're concerned about bolt hole alignment, at least one side of a hose or an expansion joint. That way, it's where they need it, and they're good to go. And
I mean, couldn't they zip tie it? Maybe just do some zip ties like off to the side and just tighten the shit out with some zip ties?
I do that all the time. Usually, it's some big guy named Bubba with a cheater bar. You know, just you know. And I imagine what that happened on that one that you'll see the picture of. But we'll normally put a rotating flange on one side. But whenever you've got this much space to work with, there's really no room to put a stub end so that you can put they call it a flange backing, you know, so that you can be able to rotate on it. Because then you're just taking away from the flexible part of the assembly. And now you've got, okay, you solved the bolt hole alignment, but you also had a lateral misalignment that you needed that flexibility to be able to get to. So it wouldn't have worked in this situation to just put a floating flange. But oftentimes that solves that problem. And we, as a standard, if we're selling something that's longer than we'll go ahead, even if the customer doesn't ask for it, we're going to quote a rotating flange on one side, or a floating flange, a lot of people call it.
Sure.
Just because we know that it can be an issue. Even if we get it right on our end and our hose is perfectly bolt hole aligned, you know, the flange and it's got fixed flanges on each end, we still know that they're piping, you know.
Right.
And when I was measuring that skid yesterday, they had almost every flange that was on it was not what they call two bolt aligned. So there was no orientation of the bolts. It was just they were turned like any way. It didn't, and they didn't think about that whenever they were fabricating up to do floating flanges in those systems.
So, you know, our compadre, Chris Kolb, has to get on a call. He likes to get on these calls at the end of the day on Friday.
At 4 o'clock.
I noticed that.
So if we'd started at the right time, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex, real quick though, you got 2 young kids. Do you know any good dad jokes?
Ooh, I like it.
Oh man, I used to tell dad jokes constantly.
We always like to keep them somewhat related to what we do, so we like to make jokes about nuts. You should make one about hose. And I'll while you're thinking, I'm going to say one. Okay?
Go ahead.
What do you call a nut with a hairy lip?
I don't know. What do you call that?
A mustachio. Ayo.
You put me on the spot.
And that's an homage to Chris's awesome Tom Selleck mustache.
Yeah, it's looking good.
It was beautiful. Beautiful.
It is solid.